Good afternoon, Governor and the members of the MPC. My name is Uche Usim. I work for the Sun newspapers. Sir, basically, we can see that inflation is going down. It's showing signs of coming down. So I want to ask you, what do you think is actually bringing this about, and what will you do to stabilize the economy and keep it that way going forward?
Uche raised some issues about GDP, congratulating us. GDP is good, looking good, and that inflation is trending downwards. Yeah, we're happy that this is happening, happening so fast. And you will all recall that as a result of the pandemic, the world went into a lockdown. This lockdown resulted in locking down of global economy, supply chains, everything were locked down. Nigeria, just like every other economy, went into a recession. During the second quarter of 2020, GDP was minus 6.1. Third quarter, 3.62. Fourth quarter, luckily, we escaped recession, and it was 0.1. Fourth quarter. First quarter 2021, 0.5, and second quarter 2021, 5.01. If you imagine the leap from below the river of minus 6.1, right, to minus 3.6, to positive 0.1, to 0.5, and to 5, means that a lot of work has been done that brought us to where we are today. But I must say that the 5.01% came primarily as a result of base effect that will dissipate. And that is the reason we are not going to make any promise that the rate of 5% is going to continue. But we will see to it that we end the year, like we said, CBN estimate is about 2.86% average for the year. We would continue to do what we are doing that resulted in this more aggressively. And I would let you know some of those things that we have done. On inflation, we had almost close to about 21 months persistent increase in inflation rate, and went to as high as 18.7 or so. And that's about 5-6 months ago. From about 5-6 months ago, we began to see a deceleration in inflation rate, and by August 2021, it came to 17.01. One thing that is very peculiar about the deceleration in August 2021 was that we saw that both the food component and the core component both coming down. And it means that some of our interventions that were put in place, particularly in the area of food, is beginning to yield dividend. We are now entering the harvest period, hopefully, and we believe that inflation will decelerate further and more aggressively as we move towards the end of the year. But what did we do? I had read some of those things in the communique, but I'll repeat myself so that those who appear to be doubting Thomases will know that on the output side, what monetary policy said is that our objective is to primarily price our monetary stability, but that is conducive to growth. So it's like a difficult one. If you want to stimulate growth, you have to spend. If you want to achieve price stability, you have to keep liquidity tight and do other things to moderate price, improve food production, and the rest of them. So for what sometimes you call objectives that are somehow conflicting in the opposite direction. So that's why we're happy that things are looking good, and we would continue to do some of those things that we've done in the past. But I think, what are those things? We have aggressively taken actions that have boosted consumption and investment expenditure in Nigeria, particularly. Our targeted credit facility, where we gave loans to close to almost about 500,000, if not more, of households and small businesses in order to stimulate consumption expenditure is one good one? Or is it our AXMIs where we are giving close almost about 200,000 people loans to acquire business equipment, is hairdresser, is block making, or is somebody who is into poultry, or who wants to buy small agri equipment for him to be doing harvesting and threshing and the rest of them. These are all boosting expenditure, and that has helped to accelerate output growth in the country. And I'll give a few numbers. For instance, 785 billion naira has been disbursed to over 3 million. I talked about it in another Dan Kobura program, cultivating about 4.7 million hectares of land. Okay? The bank also released about 900 billion to 256 real sector. I read it about out of at 1 trillion facility. 97.8 billion naira has been disbursed to over 103 healthcare projects, out of which 26 are pharmaceutical and 77 are hospital projects. Under our targeted facility, we've disbursed over 318 billion naira to 679,422 beneficiaries, comprising 572,182 households and 107,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises. Under the electricity market stabilization facility, 120 billion has been granted as loans to 9 discos, as loans to cover their financial obligation to upstream market participants. Also under the mass metering, 36 billion has been released to 9 discos for the procurement of installation of 656,000 electricity meters. 252 million naira has been disbursed to 5 beneficiaries awarded grants under COVID and the rest of them. 7 billion has been disbursed for procurement and installation of 100,000 solar, actually more than 7, we're approaching almost 20 billion for solar business and the rest of them. So these are some of the things that we have done. So for me, no wonder that this is happening, but we will just, luckily MPC gave management the mandate that we should do more and more of this so that we can see the direct correlation, because we can see direct correlation into output. Of course, on inflation, MPC also gave mandate that we should try as much as able to see how we can manage system liquidity in a way that there isn't excess liquidity that will create problem for the economy, particularly people who want to deploy liquidity into non-employment generating and output stimulating sectors of the economy. Will constrain them. Whereas we will continue to do our interventions in areas in the agriculture, in manufacturing, healthcare, that we believe will be employment stimulating and output generating sectors of our economy. I think I've tried. I want to thank you very much.